Hi there and welcome to this urban sketch drawing tutorial. And I'm going to draw Amsterdam, the city of Amsterdam. And as I come from the Netherlands, that is very appropriate for me, of course, to give this a go. And what we see here in the front is a nice bicycle. And the bicycle is chained to the railing. And there's a lot of water in the Netherlands. And the city of Amsterdam, of course, has loads of water around and through the city, where you can take a boat ride and watch the city from the boat. Now here you can see a curve in the pavement, and it's very smart to start out with one starting point, which is in my case the front wheel of the bike. And from that front wheel of the bike I just continue knitting a drawing. Now for this whole setup I'm using the Tombow brush pen, and this is a light gray. And then later on I can go in with the black fine liner. But first I want to draw a quick sketch of what I'm seeing here in front of me. There's a lot of curved lines here, and you can see here the bridge and the bows underneath the bridge, which is very typical for the city of Amsterdam. So I really want to draw those in. And you can also see a lantern pole, a lantern which is designed typically for the city of Amsterdam, so I wanted to draw that in too. And there are a lot of bow bridges, and you can just cross all the waters, all the channels of Amsterdam over those bridges. And there's also a second lantern there in the back. So it's nice to repeat some shapes. One lantern in the front and then a second little one in the back. And now that I have that standing, I can put in a little more detail for the bike, which is all the way in front. And bikes, there are a lot of bikes in the city of Amsterdam. It really swirls with them, and that's why I really also wanted a bike in this little quick sketch. So here I'm drawing in a little bit more of shadow already. And the Tombow brush pen has two sides. One side is a small tip, and the other side is a brush, as you can see here. I'm also using that to put in some nice shadows. And of course you can also see this whole recording in real time on my Patreon page. So should you want to draw along with me in real time, you can always find me on my Patreon page. So here are the shadows. I'm putting them in, just really easy. And I must say I'm now drawing from a picture, but it's always nice to really be sitting at the side, maybe drinking a cup of coffee there, and then breathe in the surroundings. I've been in Amsterdam plenty of times, so I know what it feels like. But if you're drawing really in the actual environment, you get a lot more than you would if you were only always drawing from pictures, because then you would be only copying a picture. And when you know the air that is breathing there in Amsterdam, you can get so much more out of your urban sketch. Now I've also put in the buildings in the background, and I'm not putting in too much detail there. The detail I want to reserve for the parts that are in front, really up in front of us. And here you can see the bike and the little baggage carriers that they have. And here the wheels and where the chain goes. And bikes are always fun to draw. There's a lot of steel and construction going on, but if you look at it closely, it's quite an simple shape. Here we have the pedals, and they go around the chain so that you can get that bike in movement. And then of course there's also the steering wheel. I'll put that in, and it's hanging against the railing, which is next to the canal. And I also use the fine liner. It's 0.4, if I'm correct, for that the complete railing. And the railing is curving around the lantern pole there. And let's draw in that lantern. It has nice shapes and some nice ornaments. And because these lanterns are very typical for the city of Amsterdam, I really want to have that in there. It's kind of a cube shape on top here, and here are some more ornaments on the side there, and then this is the top. So that's all. And I simply start going over my initial sketch that I did with the Tombow brush pen. So I'm carefully putting in some detail, but I leave out as much detail as possible for the far background, because I want the attention to draw to the front, to the bike and to the lantern pole. And then all the other shapes can be a little less detailed. Now, what is also very typical of the city of Amsterdam, that are those cobblestones. And they have them all around. And to show what is street or pavement and what is water, I really want to draw in some of those stones. So I just put in some vertical lines and some horizontal lines, and that's all. And then the viewer will know that this is the pavement, or the street if you want. And I draw some squirrely lines in the water, and I also put some vertical and horizontal lines for the bricks in the river bench and the bridges that are there around, surrounding the channel. And for the railing, I'm now using the 0.1, the 1.0 fine liner, which is a bigger brush. And then I will add a little bit of color. And oftentimes when I'm sketching on location, I do the coloring in once I'm at home. It's not always very handy to be painting when you are on location. So if you want to finish your drawing at home, just make a picture of where you have been sitting and then continue your drawing once you're way back at home. And you can use all kinds of stuff to put in a little bit of color. You can use the watercolors or color pencils or brush pens or whatever, acrylic, whatever makes you tick, that is what you can use to finish your drawing. And for the water, I'm using a little bit more greenish. The water in Amsterdam is not all that blue. So I've mixed in a little bit of yellow into the blue to make it a more greenish color. And you can see a lot of light coming here, so I need to brighten this up a little bit, put in some water, and then just take the pigments away with a tissue to lighten that up. And putting in some red, that's also very nice. We have those tiles on the roofs that are bright red in Amsterdam, you can see them. And maybe a little bit of green for the bushes and some trees that are also around a lot in Amsterdam. They try to put in as much as green as possible. And what is also very nice, that is the white gouache. If you want to make some clouds or make it a little bit more blurry in the background, you can always use and combine the watercolor pigments and the white gouache to get some somewhat more softer effect if you want. That's no problem at all. And that's also the nice thing about urban sketching is you don't have to be that detailed, and you can use all kinds of material, whatever makes you happy. You can just use that and well, make something of it. It's so nice to do, and I really like it. I'll put a little bit more detail maybe in the bike. Oh, I also put in a little bit of yellow ochre for the pavement. Well, the same as my sketch. I do that very loosely and very quickly. I also do that for the coloring in. So just keep it loose and open. That's my tip for you. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this nice little picture of the city of Amsterdam, and maybe you want to watch it in real time. Then you can of course find me on my Patreon page. So I'm closing up. I would say thank you for watching, and I will see you again in a next tutorial.